Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits home for many of us, the hidden downsides of being overly kind. We're taught to put others first, to be generous and caring. But what happens when that kindness backfires? In a world where not everyone reciprocates, being too nice can drain you emotionally, financially, and even put you at risk. Stick around as we uncover 8 surprising pitfalls of excessive kindness and share 4 powerful strategies to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. Let's get started. 1. People street art to expect your help. When you're always the one stepping up, others begin to see your kindness as a given. You help with tasks, lend a hand, or solve problems, and soon people lean on you like you're their personal superhero. But this creates a trap. They get comfortable assuming you'll always be there to pick up the slack. Stoic philosophy teaches us to act with balance, focusing on our own values rather than becoming a crutch for others. By constantly giving, you unintentionally train people to rely on you, and they may stop taking responsibility for their own lives. This doesn't mean they're bad. It's just human nature to adapt to what's easy. If you're always saying yes, they won't think twice about asking more. Over time, this can drain your energy and leave you feeling used. The key is to set boundaries and give thoughtfully, not out of habit. This way you stay in control of your actions and avoid becoming someone's go-to fixer. By practicing moderation, you maintain your mental strength and ensure your kindness doesn't become an open invitation for endless demands. 2. Your own dreams take a back seat. When you constantly prioritize others' needs, your personal goals often get pushed aside. You might spend your time solving someone else's problems or helping them chase their ambitions. But what about your own? Whether it's a career aspiration, a hobby you love, or simply time to relax, these things start to feel like distant wishes. Stoic wisdom urges us to live with purpose, setting boundaries to protect our own path while still being kind. By always putting others first, you risk losing touch with what makes you you. Imagine spending your weekends running errands for friends or staying late to help a colleague, only to realize you haven't had a moment to work on your own projects or just unwind. This imbalance can breed frustration, exhaustion, or even a sense of emptiness as you avoid facing your own needs. Maybe you're dodging deeper fears like being alone with your thoughts or confronting what you truly want. Self-care isn't selfish. It's essential. Before you can lift others up, you need to be in a good place yourself. Think of it like this. You wouldn't offer to paint a neighbor's house if your own walls were crumbling. Stoics remind us to anchor our actions in reason, ensuring we nurture our well-being first. By carving out time for your goals, you maintain your identity and build a life that reflects your values, not just the demands of those around you. This balance lets you give from a place of strength, not sacrifice. 3. You set unrealistic expectations for others. When you're always the one giving, it's natural to hope others will match your generosity. You pour your heart into helping friends, family, or even strangers, expecting them to step up when you need support. But here's the harsh truth. Not everyone thinks like you. Many get so used to your kindness that they take it for granted, assuming you'll always handle everything. This can leave you feeling let down, frustrated, or even resentful when your efforts aren't reciprocated. Stoic wisdom reminds us to focus on what we control, our actions, not others' responses. By giving without expecting too much in return, you protect your peace of mind. This doesn't mean you stop being kind. It means you stay realistic. People aren't obligated to mirror your generosity, and that's okay. They're just prioritizing their own needs, as you should too. When you give without strings attached, you avoid the emotional roller coaster of unmet expectations. This mindset keeps you grounded, helping you maintain a calm and balanced outlook no matter how others respond. 4. You attract takers, not givers. When you're overly generous, you may find yourself surrounded by people who only show up when they need something. You help friends move, lend money, or listen to their problems, but when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. Stoic wisdom teaches us to choose our connections wisely, using discernment to invest in relationships that are mutual. By always giving, you unintentionally draw in those who see your kindness as an opportunity to take without giving back. These aren't always bad people. They're just drawn to the pattern you've set. Think about it. If you're always the one offering help, you become a magnet for those who thrive on taking. This can leave you feeling used, wondering why your friendships feel one-sided. Stoics remind us to act with clarity, evaluating who deserves our energy. Not everyone who asks for help is a friend, some are just opportunists. For example, that coworker who only calls when they need a favor, or the friend who disappears until they're in a bind. They're takers. By setting boundaries and saying no, when requests feel unfair, you filter out those who only want what you provide. This isn't about shutting people out. It's about making space for genuine connections. When you value your own worth, you attract people who respect and reciprocate your kindness, building relationships that lift everyone up. Over time, you'll notice fewer takers and more givers in your circle, creating a life filled with balance and true support. 5. Others may see you as a pushover. When you're always saying yes to every request, people might start to view you as someone who can't say no. You help with tasks, take on extra work, or solve problems without hesitation, and over time, others may mistake your kindness for weakness. They might think you're an easy target, someone who'll always cave under pressure. Stoic philosophy encourages us to stand firm in our values, using self-discipline to set clear boundaries that earn respect. Without those limits, you risk becoming the go-to person for everyone's burdens, as they assume you'll never push back. This doesn't mean they're cruel. It's just how people respond to someone who seems endlessly agreeable. For example, if you always cover for a coworker or let friends offload their responsibilities onto you, they may start to see you as someone who lacks backbone. But here's the game changer. Saying no can flip that perception. When you respectfully decline requests that overstep your limits, you signal strength and self-respect. Stoics teach us to act with intention, choosing when and how to help, based on what aligns with our principles. By doing so, you show others you value your time and energy, which commands respect. This shift isn't about being cold, it's about being deliberate. You can still be kind, but make it clear you're not a doormat. Over time, people will admire your confidence, and you'll attract those who value you for you, not just what you can do for them. 6. You risk falling into unhealthy habits. When you give too much, you might turn to coping mechanisms that spiral out of control. Always putting others first can leave you stressed, drained, or feeling empty, pushing you toward habits like overeating, drinking, or other escapes to numb the strain. Stoic philosophy teaches self-mastery, urging us to stay mindful of our choices to avoid destructive patterns. Constant giving without recharging can make you feel like you're running on fumes, and in that vulnerability, small vices can grow into big problems. For example, you might start with an extra glass of wine to unwind, but over time it becomes a nightly crutch. Or maybe stress eating becomes a go-to after helping everyone else. These habits creep in because you're neglecting your own needs. A loved one might notice, saying, "You're overdoing it," but your first instinct could be to brush them off. Stoics remind us to listen to those who care, as they often see what we miss. Their words aren't judgment. They're a lifeline to pull you back. By prioritizing self-care and setting limits on giving you keep your balance and reduce the urge to lean on harmful habits. It's about recognizing when you're stretched thin and choosing to refill your cup first. This doesn't mean you stop helping. It means you help from a place of strength. When you stay grounded, you protect your well-being and build a life where kindness doesn't cost you your health. Over time, you'll find clarity and resilience, free from the traps that sneak in when you're overstretched. 7. You drive awe in needy souls, not uplifting ones. When you give too much, you often attract people who drain you rather than those who inspire you. You offer time, energy, or resources without limits, and soon you're surrounded by folks who lean on you for every need. Stoic teachings urge us to guard our inner peace, choosing connections that align with our values. Constant giving can sap your spirit, lowering your energy and pulling in those who thrive on your generosity without offering anything back. It's like shining a light that draws moths instead of butterflies. These people aren't always malicious. They're just wired to seek out givers. For instance, you might notice friends who only call when they're in crisis, or colleagues who dump their work on you. This leaves you exhausted, wondering why your circle feels heavy. Stoics encourage us to act with wisdom, preserving our energy for relationships that feel balanced. By giving selectively, you raise your vibe, attracting those who bring positivity, support, and joy. Picture a friend who checks in just to chat, or a coworker who shares the load. These are the connections that fuel you. Setting boundaries doesn't mean closing your heart. It means valuing your light. When you say no to energy drainers, you make room for people who lift you up, creating a life filled with mutual care and genuine bonds. Over time, your world shifts from one-sided to uplifting, reflecting the strength and balance you've cultivated. 8. Your kindness might raise eyebrows. When you're excessively generous, people may start to question your motives. You go out of your way to help, expecting appreciation, but instead, some wonder what you're hiding. In a world where selflessness is rare, your big-heartedness can seem suspicious. Stoic wisdom tells us to act with integrity, focusing on our values, regardless of others' opinions. Your constant giving might make people think you're after something like favors or influence, even if your intentions are pure. For example, you might offer to help a neighbor or coworker, only to notice they keep their distance, wary of hidden agendas. This isn't because they're unkind. It's just human nature to be cautious when something feels too good to be true. Over time, this skepticism can sting, making you feel misunderstood. Stoics encourage us to stay true to our principles, letting our actions speak for themselves. By giving thoughtfully and setting boundaries, you show your kindness comes from strength, not ulterior motives. This doesn't mean you should stop being generous. It means being mindful of how your actions are perceived. Pair your help with clear communication, like explaining why you're pitching in to ease doubts. Over time, those who matter will see your sincerity, and the skeptics will fade. You'll build trust with people who value your authenticity, creating connections rooted in mutual respect rather than suspicion. Staying grounded in your truth ensures your kindness shines without inviting doubt. That's it for today, folks. We've explored the pitfalls of being too nice and shared ways to protect your energy. Stoic wisdom shows us balance is key. Be kind, but not at your expense. Say no when needed, and prioritize your well-being. If this resonated, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts below. Want more insights? Grab our ebook on applying Stoicism to your life. Hit subscribe for daily doses of growth and wisdom. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.